Elimination Game 5 of the WNBA semifinals is here. I've got a best bet inside that game for you guys. And then, yes, we also do have some baseball action, some playoffs going on. Game 3s are going on between the Phillies and the Mets, the Padres and the Dodgers. What am I taking today? This is the free 3. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we're just trying to get to the bag together and we're just trying to get to that money. Now, yesterday we had a good day on the channel. We were so close to a sweep, but we'll take a 2-in-1 day. We cashed in on Kareem Hunt's carries. No sweat bet there. We got that done in the first half. Same thing with Travis Kelce receptions. I told you guys that was the play to go for. Both of those bets hit pretty easily. Both cashed in the first half. No sweat there. We did lose on our teaser of the day as we did take the Saints at plus 11.5. That ended up losing. If Derek Carr does not go down with that injury, I think we cover the spread there. I mean, obviously the Saints didn't really look good at all, and the Chiefs could have really blown that game out of the water worse than they did. But overall, I think we were right there, and that's just a tough loss. And then we did have a push on the day. If you stay to the end of the video, which I've been doing lately, I've been giving out a bonus pick. So make sure you guys are staying to the very end. And yesterday I gave you guys the Tigers' first 5 money line. I said I wasn't necessarily comfortable taking them on the full game. Well, that pushed because the game was tied 0-0 at the end of the first 5 there. So no harm there, no harm, no foul, 0-0, we'll take it. So 2-0-1 with a push on the day. Not too shabby. We're back at 500 for the month of October. That's what we needed after a very rough start to start the month. We were probably like, 3-4 games under 500 there for a little bit, for a few days, but that's the bounce back we needed, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going today. It is an ugly card, I'm not going to lie, but we do have some sports on, so you guys know what we're going to do. We're going to gamble. We're going to be in the lab. I got my Lab Bro shirt on today, and we're going to cook up some winners. So if you haven't smashed that subscribe button, I don't know what you're doing. We're one of the best handicappers here on the YouTube. Let's continue to grow the channel. I appreciate all the love and support, and let's come back every single day where I'm dropping more picks and plays. Now let's get into these winners for today. For my first best bet of the day, let's go to the baseball card real quick. And I'm going to really go to look at that Mets and Phillies game. Do I really have a side? No, not 100%, because we got Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies. He's making his postseason debut today. Well, of this season. He's pitched in the postseason plenty of times, but he's making his postseason debut of this season. Meanwhile, we've got Sean Manaea, who's on the mound for the Mets. And Sean Manaea is a pitcher that we had last game against the Brewers, and he did not cash in for us because we took his pitching outs. But you know what? I'm going to run it back. I know it might not be a popular pick, but I'll tell you why I like it. So we're going to go Sean Manaea over 15.5 pitch outs plus 110 odds. Now, the reason why I like this matchup here, one, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. We've got 2 pitchers who've been in really good form. Both of these offensives can get hot at times, but they're really like hit or miss offenses. It's like home run or bust type baseball with both of these teams, and you never know what you're going to get. Aaron Nola, he's been in good form this season against the Mets. Meanwhile, Sean Manaea has faced the Phillies 3 times this season, and 2 of those starts, he's gone over this number. In his first start against the Phillies this year, it was back on May the 13th. He went 6 innings in that one, 6 strikeouts with only 1 run given up. Now, his second start against the Phillies was in June, and he got pretty banged up in that one. He gave up 7 hits and 6 runs to go with 2 home runs, and that was a game where he got pulled in the 4th inning, so he didn't really get to cash in that. But his last start against them was back on September the 21st, so literally like 2 weeks ago. He went 7 strong innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. 2 of them are home runs, but overall, still not too shabby. Now, Noble, don't the pitchers have a shorter leash in the postseason than they do in the regular season? So why are you taking the pitching outs? I know that's a question that you might be asking yourself, and I know this is what hurt us in the last game when we took Sean Manaea and the Brewers, but this is the reason why I like it today in comparison to when I took it against the Brewers. When I took it against the Brewers, I was really banking on the fact that Sean Manaea was going to be in really good form. He was able to go 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run given up with 4 strikeouts. But the problem that I see with this Mets team right now is the bullpen. And because that bullpen can be hit or miss, it's very shaky. We saw Diaz blow the game in the last game out there. I mean, you got to trust your starters here, especially if they're in really good form. But also the Mets are primarily a right-hand dominant type of staff. And the reason why that is so important, because the Phillies have a lot of left-handed hitters. And those guys are at the top of the lineup. Manaea goes through this entire lineup through 5 innings, and we're starting the 6th inning. Now we got Kyle Schwarber, we've got Bryce Harper, we've got the top of the lineup coming up again. And you guys know when you're pitching, you want like that lefty on lefty matchup. So that's why I think that Minaya is going to be able to stay in this game into the 6th inning. And that's what's going to allow us to go over this 15.5 pitching out. The only guy that the Mets have coming out of the bullpen that is a left-handed pitcher is David Peterson. We saw him start a few games this year for the Mets. He's been pretty solid for them, one of the most profitable pitchers this year. We've been on him many times, but the problem is he tossed 50 pitches on Saturday. So the thing is, if Schwarber and Harper are coming up a third time, they're going to probably keep Minaya in the game, so this way he could face those two guys, and then we're going to turn it over to the bullpen. So for me, this is a matchup where I see Minaya's had success against his Phillies teams in the past. He has a 3.45 career xFIB and about a 19% strikeout to walk ratio against left-handed pitching, which is much better than the 4.23 xFIB and the 15% strikeout to walk rate that he has against right-handed hitters. So as a result, I think Minaya is going to be a guy that's going to be able to go deep into this ball game today. We saw that the Mets used several arms on Sunday as well inside of that game. Yes, the bullpen could take an extra day of rest, which they got yesterday, which was very beneficial. But I think this is one of those games where if you have a pitcher who's in a good rhythm, who's doing well, and I think that the Mets could be able to score a few runs early off of Nola, maybe one, maybe two. We've got that hot offense with Vientos. You've got Lindor, Alonso. A lot of good things are going on right there with that Mets offense. They give Minaya a little bit of run support. I think that he's going to be able to have a little bit of a longer leash today. Give me over 15.5 pitching outs as our first pick of the day. Now, for our second best bet of the day, we're going to head over to the WNBA matchup between the Sun and the Lynx. And this game 5, winner take all at home are the Lynx against the Sun. The winner of this goes to face the New York Liberty in the WNBA finals. And because of what's on the still line here, because it is an elimination game, I have to back one of the superstars here. Typically, you guys know I do like Nafisa Collier. Hint, hint, I do like her. But today, I'm going to go with the other side, and I'm going to go DeWanna Bonner. We're going to go over 14.5 points, minus 118 odds on FanDuel. Now, DeWanna Bonner is one of the best players in the WNBA. She's a veteran. She's been in the game a long time, dating back to her days with the Phoenix Mercury. She's been in this position before. Elimination games, playoff games, back against the wall, on the road. She's been in all of these situations, so that gives me confidence here in a game 5. But also, when you look at her numbers, she's cleared this total in 5 of the 6 games thus far in this postseason. And if your book has us at 15.5, then she's cleared that in 4 of the 6 games. So you can't be too mad at that. So far this series, she had 18 points on 34 minutes last game, 16 points on 36 minutes the game before that, 17 points on 34 minutes in the game before that, and then in game 1, she only had 10 points, but she also had 11 rebounds. So maybe you want to take a look at her combo square. I'm not seeing any lines up right now for the points and rebounds, but if it's at like 20.5, 21.5, I think that's a very good look as well, because she's grabbed 8 rebounds, 6 rebounds, and 11 rebounds. And again, game 5, I'm expecting her to play damn near close to 40 minutes today if she doesn't play the whole game, and I expect her to be on the court in a must-win situation for the Connecticut Sun. And DeWanna Bonner is, like I said, a player that has been in this situation many times before, and if Alyssa Thomas is not running the show, then it's DeWanna Bonner who's coming in and stepping up and really being able to help facilitate the scoring. So far this season, she averaged 15 points in the regular season. She gone over this total in 27 of the 46 games that she's played in, so you can't be too mad at that. And like I said, I like this line for her in an elimination game back against the wall. She's gone over it pretty consistently. Give me DeWanna Bonner as our second best bet of the day. For our third and final pick of the day, we're going to stay in that WNBA game, and because I like both of these teams, the Sun and the Lynx, I think the spread's a little bit too high at -5, -5.5 in favor of the Lynx. I do have them winning the game, but I do think that we should be able to get a little bit of value better live. As a result, I'm going to go with the numbers and what it's telling me here. We're going to go under 152. You can get that at -110 odds. Now, the reason why I like the under here is because it's game 5, is where all the chips are on the table. You got to break down in a stance. There is no tomorrow. You got to go as hard as you can for the team that's going to lose, right? And if you look at the numbers, the last 2 games in this series actually went over. So we saw 153 total in last game. That one went over because we had a 92-82 finish. And then the game before that, there was a total of 150.5. That game went over as well. But the first 2 games of the series, we had a 153 total. We had a 152.5 total. both of those games went under. We had a 77-70 finish, so that was 147 that we got right there. And then we had a 773 finish, which was a 143 number. So kind of we didn't have to like sweat it out. We were able to kind of clear it pretty easily. I mean, it wasn't like a blowout, but it was pretty close. I mean, pretty easy under there. But when you look at both of these teams, how they trend this so far this season, the Lynx 15-24-2 to the under this season. Meanwhile, the Connecticut Sun were 16-23-1 to the under this year. Defense is the name of the game that both of these teams play. They're the two best defensive teams in the WNBA. Game 5 on the line, I'm expecting them to lean on what they do best, which is play defense. But when you also look at the numbers, the Sun away from home, 8-12 to the under on the road. Meanwhile, the Lynx 5-14 to the under at home. As underdogs, the Sun are 1-7 to the under. Meanwhile, the Lynx are 8-18 to the under as favorites. So for me, this is just simple stats. This is simple numbers. I'm taking the under. Game 5, elimination matchup, game on the line. The Lynx are at home. They like to slow down the tempo a little bit. They like to play more of a grit and grind type of style when they're at home. I expect the Sun to kind of go back to what worked in game 1 and game 2 for them, which is double teaming Afisa Collier, trying to take her out the game. And if she's not in the game, it's going to make it very hard for the Lynx to score here today. And that's why I think we can get a little bit better value live. But I like the under here. I'm taking that as our third and final best of the day. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that I'm giving you guys on this Tuesday card. Give me Sean Manaea over 15.5 pitching outs. We get that at plus Chicky for the Mets and Phillies game. For my bonus pick of the day, I'm also taking the Nerfy in that game. I bet you knew that was coming. Minus 130 odds I'm seeing on that one. Aaron Nola, Sean Manaea, 2 guys who've been cashing in Nerfies all year long. Give me the Nerfy in that matchup as our bonus pick. And then give me the under 152 between the Sun and Lynx. And then Dewana Bonner over 14.5 points. That should tuck us in. I might have a play or 2 extra to give you guys throughout the day. I do like the Padres today, and I'm actually probably going to lean taking them and to win the series, especially if Freddie Freeman does not come back from the Dodgers. That is a huge blow for that team. But I like Michael King tonight against Walker Buehler. But again, that is going to be one that I might try to take a little bit live. It is a little bit juiced at minus 150. So wait for the Dodgers to at bat or something like that. Maybe get a runner on base. You should be able to get a little bit cheaper. But I do think the Padres win that game tonight. That's a few leans that I have for you guys. But again, for the official picks and plays, or added plays, I should say, it's going to be inside the Discord group. Right, my friends? Let's have a day. Let's keep the momentum going this month of October. And as always, dictate your fate, get to that cheddar. And I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. Later, guys.